guys? Some stupid sketch show guy here with another news video, and today's news video is going to be the final part to the Collecta 2023 reveals, and know something a little different about this episode? Yep, I'm back home for Thanksgiving for a couple of days, so you get to see the old LEDs nuts, and you also get to see all the dinosaurs just lying in my room that I did not bring to college. Hopefully they don't take it personally. Anyways, let's get down to the last two figures that they have officially revealed. Now, we did get the species last week, which were Koolasuchus and Stegoros. Yeah, there we go, Stegoros. But, how good are they actually? Well, let's talk about it. So first up, we got Koolasuchus, a creature that I thought would have more figures of it by now, considering its appearance in Walking with Dinosaurs. But nope, it seems like Collecta is the first mainstream company to make a full-blown Koolasuchus figure. So, how is it for an introduction to Koolasuchus to figure collectors? It's cursed. Look at this thing. Where are its eyes? There's no eyes. It's just a mouth. It's just like, it's just, look at this thing. I kind of like it, but like, look at this weirdo. It's such a, it's a thing. It's a thing. Now, to be fair, I don't know what else I was really expecting, considering that Koolasuchus has always looked a little weird. I mean, you can't deny, the original Walking with Dinosaurs model is pretty darn cursed. But I was not necessarily expecting this. But maybe I should have. It looks alright. It's just a good old silly looking figure, but I'm really liking the next one a bit more. So let's talk about that one. And the second figure that Collecta has revealed, and our last figure for 2023 from them, is a good one. We have got Stegoros, which, a lot like the Koolasuchus from the very first set of reveals, is a very recently discovered dinosaur, barely being even a year old when it comes to its discovery. And Collecta, again, has nailed it, giving this new dinosaur a very well-deserved start to its figure life, with a very nice paint job. It's definitely something we've seen before with the overall tan colors, but it's well applied. I really like the armor bumps, and of course, the tail. Look at this thing. That's a medieval weapon right there. That's what a gladiator would use to kill somebody. That is exactly why we love Stegoros. And also, to help balance things out, we have some nice white eye paint right above the brow. Some, like, artificial eyebrows so that it can do the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson eye boost or whatever. It definitely is a nice touch and adds a little bit of extra flair to a already well-done tan dinosaur. It's just overall a very great introduction to a very recently discovered dinosaur species, and exactly why I really like what Collecta has done this year. Overall, I would say this is probably one of Collecta's strongest lineups in a long time, and 2023 is looking to be a great year for Collecta. There are so many new species that have never been represented in figure form that Collecta decided to do justice this year, and I'm especially loving all the more recently discovered species that, despite the little time they've actually been known to the public, finally get a new figure, which is pretty exciting, as well as species that have been around for a long time in the public, but have yet to really been given a proper representation, like Anomalocars and Koolasuchus. So, to finish off this 4-part series, let's rank all of the Collecta 2023 figures from worst to best. In 10th and last place, by a pretty clear margin, is their running Triceratops, a figure that did not really warrant its own existence, didn't change enough about the figure, and overall was just a downgrade from their deluxe Triceratops from last year. No thank you. And then we get to 9th place, which is a huge jump in quality, but just happens to be a little bit worse than the rest of the figures on this list. Brightstonius. It's a good figure, it's a nice new species, but I just liked the Fukuisaurus a lot more, and it's kind of plain. Like, the overall execution of the figure is very plain, and the face is a bit weird. Still, a great new species that finally gets some representation, but it just happens to be edged by the others for its shortcomings. Barely ahead of it, in 8th place, is Koolasuchus. Now, the only reason why I placed Koolasuchus in front of Brightstonius is because of the fact that it has a bit more of a personality. Yeah, it has the same sort of similar quality problems, like the paint scheme is not all that amazing, and the sculpt is a bit silly, but I think the silliness makes it more interesting and memorable in my mind than Brightstonius, which puts it just ahead, but if you get rid of all the silliness, it's about the same quality-wise, if not a little bit worse. In 7th place, by just a hair's breadth, is Ruyangosaurus, a great sculpt and a great introduction to a new species of sauropod that I've never heard of before, but Mamenchisaurus was the better version of this figure, and that simply is why it falls back so much lower. Although, I do really like those spikes on its back. In 6th place, barely ahead of it, is Hadrosaurus, which definitely has a leg up thanks to its better paint job, its up-to-date hooves, which is a great new feature, and also just its overall sculpt. The only thing that really holds it back is a nitpick, which is the neck scaling. The neck scaling just looks a bit awkward. The rest of the figure's detail is great, but that one little detail will cost it, considering how great everything else is. Now we've hit the top 5. So let's start it, shall we? At number 5, we got Shastasaurus. And this figure is absolutely great. There's nothing really objectively wrong with it. The only thing that holds it back is the scaling, because Shastasaurus is a very big sea creature, and this is just a standard figure. But besides that, it's a great orca-themed sea monster, and I approve. And then number 4, I don't really have to explain much further, Stegoros. I already explained my reasons earlier in this video. It's a nice figure with a good application, and it's also lovely to see such a recently discovered dinosaur finally having such a high quality figure of it. And also, the tail is always extra cool. And now we've hit the podiums. In the bronze medal, we have got Koolasuchus. Now this was the first sign that maybe this year was gonna be pretty awesome, with Koolasuchus being such a very recently discovered Spinosaurid, and of course, Collecta executing it almost perfectly. In some angles, the face sculpt does look a little weird, but that's literally the only nitpick I got. Besides that, it's an awesome 140 scaled articulated jaw badass dinosaur. I don't know what more I could ask for. And now for the silver medalist, we got Anomalocaris. Anomalocaris, so close to being number 1. A very great representation of a Cambrian monster, brilliant paint job, and just overall great execution. All it's really down to is just, I like the next figure species more than Anomalocaris. That's the only difference. There's no real flaws with this figure. I just happen to like number 1, Mosasaurus, as a species more than Anomalocaris. And that is our official winner for the best figure of Collecta 2023. Their 140 Deluxe Mosasaurus. It's nice, simple colored, counter shaded, perfect size, articulated jaw. It's everything I want in a sea monster, and just everything I want in a prehistoric figure. Just perfect execution, Collecta. Chef's kiss. And that is why Mosasaurus, in my opinion, is the winner. I know that wasn't really a really good explanation, but what else is there to say? It's a great figure. And that concludes this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this Rush Top 10 list. Comment down what your ranking of this year's Collecta figures are in your particular order. See you guys next time.